Okay, so this is going to be a stationary video here that I got going. Using a new camera. My friend lent me this camera here and told me that it'd probably capture better videos, so I'm going to see now if it does or not. This is a response video to what's this one? What's this video called? Proto SLG fails with Crossfire 6845 and AV35. Okay. First things first, what you have to understand before you even get into, talking about what the problem with your gun is, you gotta know right off the start that not every marker is foolproof, and that Proto did have a bad batch of SLGs. But yours is an 09 SLG, and I don't think the 09s were that bad. I mean, they worked on it a bit. First thing you have to know, though, okay, the rail at the bottom of your SLG right here, this rail that your airport goes onto can get very loose. So what you need to do is open up your grip frame and unscrew so you can take your airport completely off and re-screw in the pegs on the rail back here, and then slide your airport back on. You'll notice that when the rail is loose that the airport will go all over the place, and because it's shifting, the macro line may start shifting with it too, and then you'll get leaks. But from what your video looked like, it wasn't your airport's fault, and it definitely wasn't your tank's fault. You were saying, oh, my tank is fucked up. Okay, there's absolutely, if your tank was actually, fucked up, we would have been seeing like an exploding tank, or we would have watched a burst disc fly out. Okay, I got a Steely tank for you here. This is a Gorilla 48,000 tank, and has a myth regulator on it. Okay, this is made of TC3 aluminum, and it holds 3,000 pounds per square inch and whatever. And these things are designed to be fail-safe. Okay, this is a standard regulator off a 45-45 tank. A TC3 aluminum is nowhere near as strong as the carbon fiber tank you're using, and these regulators are literally impossible. It's impossible almost for these to fail. They have burst discs. Okay, if it was actually your tank, your burst disc would have blown or something. And on top of that, if you can look at the threads here, right there, like that putty right there, that's red Loctite. Every paintball tank, when they're screwed in, even though they already have this O-ring seal here, they have red Loctite put onto it to add extra sealant. Because in a sport of paintball, the tank's going to be shook around a lot and maybe banged off a couple trees or something if you have a fall. So they add that extra seal and that extra strength with the red Loctite to ensure that nothing happens. But basically, these things are fail-safe. Okay, they got so many safety things put onto them, and they're built so strong that there is no way in hell it could have been your air tank at all. So don't even believe that. Okay, don't even think that it wasn't your air tank. All right, this is a reg here. Was no way in hell this is your air tank that had that problem. Okay. Here are two of my main ideas, my main theories. Actually, no, more than two now that I think about it. The first is the operating pressure for the Proto SLG's Hyper 3 regulator is 145 psi. Okay, so if you don't know what the operating pressure is, it's just the air pressure that the gun fires at. Okay, if it was lower, then it wouldn't be shooting that well, and if it was way higher, it'd be shooting a lot harder, and you'd need to tone down the regulator a little bit. If you're going to be shooting the gun, you don't want to go over the 310 or 315 feet per second, and you don't want to go under 275 feet per second. If you're going way over 310, 315 feet per second, you're over, the bolt's hitting the balls too hard, and you're overworking the gun, and it'll fry on you pretty much. Like, the board won't actually fry, but like the gun will just go into self-destruct mode and stop working. If you're shooting too low, then the bolt's not going to really be able to cycle that well, and you're going to just get a gun that's not really working. Okay, so I think that's what happened. I think you were shooting too low on your reg was set too low, that it wasn't able to cycle fast enough. Okay, that's one theory. So what you want to do is you want to go to a chronograph of some sort, and make sure that you're shooting, at a good at a good shot, good FPS, which would be 275 to 310, 315 is usually the general good area. Anything above or below generally is not good for the gun. Now, my other theory is that, as you know, there's a safety bleed button in the back of the gun here. Okay, when you put the air in, a button shoots out. You know that. There's a mechanism. The way this bolt is set up is here. Let me get my Allen keys out here, and I can open it up for you. The way the bolt is set out is that with that bleed button there. Hold on, let me get this bolt out real quick. Okay, that with the bleed button, this is the standard position that it's in. Okay, when it's ready to fire. When you actually fire the gun, the bolt only comes out this much. Okay, like that. Now, basically, what sometimes happens is in its resting position, it doesn't always go back into this. It goes like halfway, and part of the bolt is in the breech. So what you have to do, if that ever happens, the gun won't fire. It'll it'll go all crappy like it was on there. The button comes out. What you want to do is you want to push down on the button, because that releases air into it and it returns the bolt back into the position it needs to be. So if you ever have that experience, just push on the back of the button, and the bolt will come back in, I promise. And if that's the case, if that doesn't work even, then there's only one other problem with your gun, and that is A, maybe your eyes are dirty and it's like going click bang, click bang, click bang, or B, you just have a low battery. 95% of the problems in paintball with markers where, oh, it's not, firing very fast, or oh, blah blah blah, especially with steer trippers, is low battery. Because basically how this gun works is you have a solenoid in here, and it has like a little peg that smacks the bottom of a sear, and the sear drops down and the bolt goes forward, and then the bolt comes back, and then the sear catches it again. So the sear drops down, bolt goes forward, bolt comes back, sear catches it. If your battery is low, then the rammer little peg there on the solenoid can't hit the sear hard enough, so the sear won't drop all the way, which means the bolt's not going to go forward. Okay? So what you want to do, if that ever happens, is make sure that your gun, because it is a pancake clapper, its click is kind of loud. If you're getting like a sort of like a tick, 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 rather than a click, 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 then you need to change your battery, because if your battery is low, then you're not going to be able to shoot the gun well. So that's my advice to you. That's pretty much all that it probably is. It's not your tank. There's no way in hell it could be your tank. No, it can't be your tank. You may think it is, you could try and tell me it is, but it's not, okay? Regulators on the tanks, the valve and the regulator for this tank are fail-safe. They are designed to never have any problems unless they're like fucking melted, okay? But you're not gonna melt it, and you're not making a habit of throwing it around, So there's no way in hell your regulator could have any problems with it. Otherwise, you would have blown a burst disc before your air would have just stopped going. One other theory, though, now that I think about it, is what was your pressure? If you were shooting at like 100 psi or something like that, then yeah, of course you're not going to be able to shoot the gun very well. But if you had a full air tank, then the theories I just told you is almost definitely what the problem is. If that doesn't work, then just send me a message or a reply, just a PM or something, and tell me more of the problem maybe you're having with it, and I'd be happy to get back to you with any answers. Thanks for watching this video.